Good morning, students. Students, I Abhishek Soni from Adarsh Vidya Mandir, Shankar Vidyapeeth, Mount Abu, Siroi, Rajasthan. Students, we have already started with the chapter that was the how the camel got his hump. In the first part, what we have learnt that in the first part it was clearly stated that the camel was living in the middle of the desert and he simply used to eat and sleep. He don't want to work. That's why he used to live in the middle of the desert. Okay. And all the three animals, the remaining animals, the dog, the horse, the ox, they all went to the camel one by one, and what they said, they requested the camel to please come out and do some work. Don't simply eat and sleep. But that was there in the first part. But the camel said hump and don't do any work. That was the reason that all the three animals went to the owner and said that the camel is only saying hump. He don't want to work. So in the next part we are going to learn that the man, when all the animals came to the man and reported there that the camel is simply saying hump and don't want to work, then what man did? The man called all three. All three means the dog, the horse and the ox. The man called all three animals, and what he said? He said hump. These three animals, the dog, horse and ox, was called by the man. Okay, so man what told? The hump can't work, leave him alone. So the man knew that if camel is saying hump and is not doing any work, means he cannot do any work, so leave him alone. But the man was very sorry to say that the remaining three animals have to work twice, double time. Why? Because the camel is not doing the work. So the part of work which camel has to do will be done by the three animals, the dog, the horse and the ox. So the man put the burden on three animals. So all three animals got angry, and what they did, they at the end of the day, all three animals held a panchayat on the edge of the desert. So seeing that panchayat meeting, the camel also came there, chewing cud and laughed at them. When camel came to in that panchayat meeting, so he saw that the meeting is about to how to motivate the camel, or how to put ourselves out of the trouble to so that we cannot supposed to do the work double time. So the panchayat meeting was held. The camel also came in the meeting, and what he did, he simply laughed at that animals and he went away saying hump. So in that meeting jinn appeared. One jinn appeared in that meeting. The jinn was the in charge of all deserts. The jinn was the in charge of all the deserts, rolling in a cloud of dust. How the jinn appeared? The jinn appeared by rolling in the clouds of hump like this. The jinn appeared. Okay. So when jinn appeared, the horse said that is it right for anyone to be idle? Is it right for anyone to be idle? Then there is nothing in the middle of your desert. Camel hasn't done a stroke of work, no trotting. It means what the horse said, asked to the jinn, is it right for anyone to be idle? The jinn said, no, it's not right to be idle. You cannot simply eat and sleep, you have to do some work also. So jinn said, no, it is not right to be idle. Then the horse said, there is nothing in the middle of your desert. What is there in the middle of your desert? Simply long legs. Long legs means camel. Okay. And camel hasn't done a stroke of work since Monday morning. Since the Monday morning when all the three animals went to the camel's reply was hump, means he don't want to work. So that's why the horse is saying this statement that camel has not done a stroke of work since Monday morning. To whom? To the jinn. And no trotting. No trotting means no jogging, no workout, nothing. Then jinn said, what does it say? Jinn asked to the horse, what does the camel say? The camel says hump. Replied the horse. What the horse replies? The camel says hump only, but don't do any work. Then the jinn says that you all three and all the other animals, please wait here, and while I will approach to the camel and make him motivate to do some work. So that was in the first part, second lecture. Okay, in the next part of this lecture, this chapter, we will study that the conversation between the jinn and the horse and what message actually it conveys. Okay, so that's all for this lecture. Thank you.